Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at the news in War Thunder once again. Gadgeon has released another devblog. This one is for the Mosquito B.XVI, so we're going to have a look at that. And then also a plane has returned for its anniversary of its first flight. The HE-219A7 is back once again. It's going to be available for GE, but not at a discount, so they're just full-on FOMOing it. It's going to be available from the 6th of November until the 10th of November. We'll have a chat about it in this video, and also everything else. Maybe at the end we'll talk about some future stuff when it comes to War Thunder 2, things that Gadgeon have talked about in the past that maybe we can look forward to this year, or maybe it will be for the years coming. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Let's get started. The first piece of news is about the Mosquito B.XVI. This is a new squadron vehicle that is coming into War Thunder. Gadgeon has really expanded the squadron vehicles over the last few years. It's actually really cool to see. I wonder if they're going to change the way that you can actually research them, because it's basically impossible to get all of them at the moment if you are even in an active squadron. But maybe the idea is they're going to continue doing that, so therefore there's always going to be something to grind, kind of like how you have the rest of the tech tree stuff as well. The Mosquito Mark-16 is going to be coming in as a rank 3 squadron vehicle. Usually when it comes to squadron vehicles, we've seen a lot more high ranking or top ranking ones, and it's just really nice to see a lower one, similar to how we have the Firecrest for Britain too. And the Mosquito Bomber, I think, is actually a pretty good squadron vehicle. It doesn't have access to any guns, but it has the nice bomb loads, which is quite nice, and also a pretty interesting history. Before later fame as a fighter bomber, among other successful variants, the Mosquito started life as a high-speed bomber design. This was a novel concept at the time, since most bombers were slow and also cumbersome. The Mosquito bomber variants were an entirely unarmed, offensively fast bomber, with speed being its main weapon. Taking flight in November 1940, the prototype Mosquito utilized the powerful Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, coupled with a lightweight wooden construction, earning itself the nickname of Wooden Wonder. The earlier B-Mark-IV bomber would enter service from 1941. The later B-Mark-16, which is the one we're getting, incorporated multiple improvements, most notably 2-stage Merlin power plants and a pressurized cockpit suitable for higher altitude use, where the Mosquito's speed came to be most useful. The B.Mark-16 also featured the larger bulbous bomb bay, allowing the carry of the famous 4,000-pound blockbuster, or cookie bomb, as it was also known, one of the largest bombs in the RAF inventory. And that's going to be the main reason why people use this thing. It's a quick action vehicle, you'll be able to get into the battle, and you'll be able to get out again. This type of vehicle is going to be super useful in something like Naval, for example, in Arcade, when you have that bomb reload, but also in stuff like Ground Realistic. If you're on like a conquest battle, or if you're on one of those battles where, you know, there's going to be a lot of concentration of troops in an area, it's usually good just to get rid of them with a big old 4,000-pounder. And previously, the only way you could really do that is with a Wellington, which is a lot slower and a lot harder to get into the battlefield. One of the more interesting parts of this as well is the fact that you are very fast and you only have a bomb load, so you will be at a general lower BR because you can't defend yourself. This thing doesn't have any turrets, it doesn't have any guns, it literally only has the bomb load and also access to some rockets that it can bring along too, including RPs, and then of course the Uncle Toms that a lot of the British vehicles use in the Second World War area. So it's just another nice addition to the game. There's nothing really offensive about it. It generally just works very well. The only question is, will it be worth playing over some of the other options that are around? And for me personally, I think it's going to be a little bit hard to grind as well. There isn't really a game mode where it fits well for grinding. It won't really have enough of a bomb load to make a big impact in something like air and also in naval and ground. Until you get the cookie, you once again don't have huge bombs. It'll be good at overpressuring targets though, and there's a lot of open top and light vehicles of these BRs around 3.0, so yeah, it should be generally fine. It's just lovely to see. And the expansion of the Mosquitoes over the last little period, with the ones to China, the ones to Norway, and now more for the British tech tree, is always welcome. It's a beautiful aircraft, with an amazing story. The next piece of news is the return of the HE219. Now, this vehicle is coming back for a few days to buy, and the vehicle is odd. That's pretty much the best way I can describe it. It's kind of cool in many different ways, but it doesn't really fit in the meta, and that's where it comes a cropper. So the vehicle has some very powerful engines. It has the DB603Es, which at 4.3 gives a lot of power to the vehicle, meaning that the general speed of it is quite nice. The problem is it's huge, and also once you turn, you lose all of that speed. And since this vehicle is mainly designed around its guns, which you can all see in the center here, once you turn for a target after you've done one strafe, yeah, it kind of has a bit of an unfortunate problem. So the vehicle also has a collection of different guns. You have the 20mm MG151s, generally very good at dealing with aircraft, and also lighter targets. It also has the MK.108s and the MK.103s for the 30mm. So you have the high velocities, the MK.103s, and then the low velocities, MK.108s. One of the problems with having all of these different guns on a vehicle is they all have different velocities, so being able to actually aim with all of them at the same time is pretty much impossible. So you have to pick and choose what you want to kind of hit with. Generally, you want to aim with the MK.108s and the MG151s based on the targets that you are using. Now, when it comes to the 108s, they're just not really worth going on unless you're going after the general planes, but most of the time you're going to be ground attacking with this thing, and you're going to be using this belt, the HVAP belt for the 103s with the higher velocity. So you'll be able to penetrate stuff, you'll be able to do a lot of damage, and this is where kind of the key of the vehicle comes in. So this vehicle has a lot of ammo, it has good speed, it has, general ability to be able to take out a lot of either AI targets in air or in ground. You are able to strafe quite a lot of targets and do a ton of damage to them, and that can be really, really good. But it doesn't get access to bombs, it doesn't get access to rockets or anything like that, so you are wholly gun defiant on this type of thing. And one of the problems with it is you cannot defend yourself. So if you don't have full air superiority in an area, you will just die to whatever aircraft has decided to be in that area that is on the enemy team. But if you are left alone, and if you are able to chill in an area, and if you are able to relax, you can get the most score in the game without even thinking. So it's really a gamble playing this thing. You either do really well, get, a lot of score, and be left alone. But once actual enemy players come in with fighters, there's not really a ton you can do, and that's kind of the problem with it. It's also a pretty decent, rank 4 premium. There are quite a few others around this BR which are really good, though. You got the DO 335, for example. You, of course, have the JU 288. Both of these are just very chill grinders and very good. The Focke-Wulf 190D is always nice, even getting load in BR a lot. So generally, the HE219, it's fine, once again, in certain scenarios, but you have a plethora of great options that you can actually pick for the Germans at these BRs. So it doesn't really make as much sense to be able to pick this thing up. So I just wanted to mention that there is another major update this year. I feel like when it comes to the end of the year for War Thunder, there's so many things that are jam-packed in, and I have to keep reminding myself, even though we're past one of the busier periods, we still have Christmas, and we still have the December update. So there's still one major update with a bunch of content that's coming this year. And it's just crazy how every year Gaijin continues to ramp up the amount of content that there is. I don't understand how they do it. It's just insane how they just have this crazy rapid progression going on, and there's just so much stuff that just keeps turning up. I wonder when the train kind of stops and has to reassess and work out if they have to change tact. Because for me, there is a lot of stuff. Maybe too much stuff at the end of the day. Maybe there's just too many things moving around. Maybe there's just too many cogs turning and wheels moving to a point where it's getting to a situation where it's impossible to look at everything. I've already, at least for myself, had to scale down the naval side of things just because it's just so expansive in terms of naval and in terms of them just completely changing everything. So whenever I talk about it, I feel like we just wait a week and then it's all completely changed. So talking about it seems kind of worthless. And it's starting to feel like that with jets now, where with every update, with every few change logs, they change so many different things that will massively affect the gameplay, that what you said last week probably won't exist this week. And it's just really hard to kind of wrap the brain around and work out how to do it. And then also with the submarines probably coming in, with the infantry mode coming in, you know, that was leaked a bunch of times. How are we going to do this? I don't know. I suppose we'll find out as we go along. Just wanted to mention it because it's just a few feelings I've been having recently of how we're going to kind of cover and also chat about everything that's coming to War Thunder. It really is turning into a game that, at least in terms of military, is going to have everything. And that hasn't been done before. Kind of crazy. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.